realize I used to think it was the outrage that made individuals apprehensive, the hollering, the clench hands through walls, the wild wrath that makes your head spin with rage, and your vision obscure. That is what they anticipate from you. Rage, their W sitting tight for it, asking for it since they know how to bargain. With its anticipated, it's sensible, they have their hands prepared to put out that fire to confine the monster that thunders. However, you didn't give them that fulfillment. Did you know you accomplished something undeniably seriously frightening? You remained calm. You gulped each ounce of outrage, each shout, each revile that compromised to spill from your lips. You kept everything secured inside, behind a cool and vulnerable quiet, and that quiet, gracious, it's stronger than any shout you might at any point assemble. They don't have the fuckiest idea how to manage quietness. They can't peruse it, can't foresee it. It's like gazing into the chasm and the pit gazing right back at them. They thought they knew you. They figured they could push you, bend you, break you, yet presently they're left considering what's happening behind those clear eyes, that undeniable face. They're terrified. Since your quietness is the quiet before a tempest they can't see coming. You see, individuals love to control the story. They believe you should respond to become suddenly angry in light of the fact that then they can point their fingers and say, look, see there. Shaky, they're the issue. It's each of the a game, a pet little dance where they push and you should push back. That is what they expected, yet all things considered, you gave them nothing. Quietness, and presently they're scared. Quiet is a weapon, one they don't have the fuckiest idea how to guard against. It makes them question themselves. They replay each word they said, each activity they took, contemplating whether they went excessively far. It's consuming them right now. Gracious goodness, they're worrying about it. The quietness you gave them is tormenting them, reverberating in their brains, since it's an update of all that they did, each lie, each selling out, each blade they cut into your back. It's everything. They're reflected in that cold void quiet. Furthermore, here's reality. They don't believe that you should realize. They dread what they can't comprehend. They can deal with your resentment, since it's recognizable. However, quiet is a secret. It's capricious to thoroughly search in your eyes. Says, I've seen damnation, and I've reconciled with it's the manner in which you convey yourself, like somebody who's had to deal with the most obscure of evenings and arisen on the opposite side, not broken yet produced. You don't owe them your annoyance. You try not to owe them anything. Let them sit in their uneasiness. Let them. Can't help thinking about what's going on inside that top of yours. It's making them frantic. You realize they can't stand it, cause they have no control over it. They have zero control over you, and that is the most frightening thing for individuals like them. Losing control. They assumed they had control over you. They figured they could hurt you and you'd come creeping back asking for their approval, yet see you presently. You're standing taller than at any other time, not on the grounds that you yelled stronger, but since you figured out how to remain peacefully, you turned into the quiet and the eye of the tempest, the quiet before the breaking of the glass. And they know profound down, they know that when you at last talk, when you at long last take your action, it will be destroying. Bravo, gracious, bravo, hi me. Companion, you've done what not many can do. You've taken in the specialty of quietness. You've dominated the weapon they never saw coming, and presently now they're scrambling, stumbling over their own feet, attempting to sort out what comes next. They're anticipating that you should detonate to torch everything in an attack of rage. However, you and I both realize the genuine blast is the one they won't ever see coming. Recollect, this quietness isn't shortcoming. It's power, it's control, it's the capacity to hold your ground, to pick your fights, to hold on until the right second to strike, and at the point when that second comes, when you at last choose to end that quiet, it will not be with a shout or a yell. It'll be with a murmur, that reverberation stronger than any thunder. A solitary word, a solitary activity that will shake the very groundworks of all that they assumed. They realized they needed your annoyance. However, your quiet, your quietness torment them. It's what keeps them up around evening time, gazing at the roof, replaying each discussion, each second pondering where they went wrong. They're suffocating in the quiet you left behind, and they don't understand it's their own responsibility, their own double-cross trail that is. Pulling them under so allowed them to fear your quiet, allowed them to gag on. It's the outcome of their own decisions, the apparition of their own errors, and when you at long last choose to talk, when you at last break that quiet, it will not be bitterly, it'll be out of lucidity, out of strength, out of the power you found in the quietness. They would never comprehend. They anticipated your annoyance, my companion, yet it's your quietness that scares them, and that is the best retribution of all your staying there, actually holding it and aren't. You all that hurt, all that failure, you wear it like protective layer. Presently it's we certain, but at the same times major areas of strength for it. They don't understand what they've made. Do they figured they could break? You break you into 1,000,000 pieces, yet rather you took each piece. They attempted to tear, separated, and fabricated a stronghold of quietness. They pushed you, tried you, and they thought they'd see you break. They were prepared for the explosion, prepared to fault you for everything except when you didn't respond how they would have preferred, when you recently gazed back with those unfilled eyes, that stone virus quietness. They didn't have the foggiest idea what to do. You turned the tables. Abruptly you were presently not the casualty, as of now not the one they could control. You need to realize the reason why they're terrified of your quietness, since it implies they never again hold the power. It's like strolling into a room and hearing only your own pulse. It's the sort of calm that makes you rethink all that they expected, a battle, an untidy, uproarious, unsurprising battle, yet you provided them with the tranquil repercussions of a conflict they didn't win, and presently they're remaining there in the ruins, glancing around, considering how they wound up on the terrible side. EC. Quiet isn't simply the shortfall of commotion, it's an assertion, it's the reverberation of all that you didn't say, all that you decided to keep inside since you knew they weren't prepared for it. The search in your eyes says I've experienced more awful, and I endure. It's the quiet gathered way you inhale while they're losing their brains, scrambling for control. They assumed they were managing with a messed up broke soul, yet all things being equal, they're confronting somebody who's seen the most obscure corners of life and figure out how to flourish in the shadows. Let me let you know something. They live for your response. It's like fuel to them. They feed off your torment, your displeasure, since it causes them to feel strong. It causes them to feel like they still matter in your reality, yet when that's what you take away, when you give them only quiet, it resembles tearing the ground out from under their feet. They don't have anything